Welcome to my first online class. I'm so honored to have been asked to do this. Thank you, Melissa, for arranging all this and getting the message out. I hope this video gets out either live or later for anyone who needs it, especially all my friends here in Santa Cruz County and around dealing with all the craziness. I know a lot of people who have been through some crazy stuff in the past few weeks. Some of my friends have lost everything they own. Thousands of people have been evacuated and dealing with a lot of stress from that, and or just traveling away to get some clean air so that we can breathe. So along with that and COVID-19 and everything going on politically, it just seems like the whole order of our life has been upended. And I know that some of you out there have been working in the trenches, lending aid and support. And to you, thank you so much. I know that everybody's feeling it in our body, even if only distantly. The tension and the disruption is having a subtle effect on all of us. And I've noticed it in my meditations, I've noticed it in my dreams, and on all that subtle levels. Your brain might be telling yourself, we're okay, I'm okay, I'm okay, I'm okay, I'm okay, I'm okay. But unless you take time to really check in and go deeper, you might never find out if you're actually okay. So that's what this class is going to be about. We're going to spend an hour and we're going to drop in and go into our body, into our breath, and we all hold tension in different ways. Some of the most popular ways to hold tension are in your shoulders, right? In your chest, you can just be breathing up here, kind of like in a fight or flight mode. A lot of people hold chest stress in the diaphragm, so that has a lot to do with the breath as well, or just a kind of a generally wiredness in the nervous system. So all of these are fight or flight sympathetic response, and what we're going to try to do is release that. Everybody releases in different ways. So we're going to move, we're going to breathe, we're going to shake, we're going to do some soothing self-massage and meditation. And the goal here is to shift into parasympathetic mode, rest and digest. We need to allow our body some downtime to restore and rejuvenate. We're going to be working a lot with the lungs and the breath. Everybody's been dealing with smoke. And also the lungs are, from the Chinese perspective, interestingly enough, the key base of the immune system, what we call the Wei Qi field. So this works not only on a physical level, like I'm just not going to physically get sick. I have a strong Wei Qi field. It works on an emotional level and it works on a mental level. So if we cultivate a nice strong field surrounding us, a nice strong Wei Qi field, in this parlance, we have more internal coherence. And when crazy things come at us, we have a little bit more time to react and say, oh, okay, look at that, instead of just feeling like, oh my gosh, this is it, this is who we are, this is our reality. So this gives us more ability to respond with compassion in a crisis. Going deeper, we're also going to do a little bit of work with the water element, which is my favorite element, which is rooted in the kidneys and the adrenal system, which we may be using when we're going through times of stress. So this is that space where you can refill your aquifer, is one way of looking at it. So here's the most important message from the water element. The most important message is, when you're tired, rest. Just listen to your body, take naps, take baths, turn the lights off at night, give yourself some nice dark downtime, especially in the evening, and encourage your body to go into that restorative state. So that's the main message I have for you from water, and we'll be doing some movement with water and some other things. And then just another quick note before we get going, we're going to be doing some qigong and some movement here. I just wanted to talk briefly about some herbs, which is also a huge part of Chinese medicine. There are some amazing herbs that you can use right now to support yourself. There's three I'd like to talk about, most of which are kind of like adaptogens. In other words, the body will use them to regulate itself and give itself more range. my favorite is Rhodiola rosea. I love this. I use this to help me for fatigue issues and for energy. It's useful for sort of that chronic fatigue kind of drained thing. It rebuilds that. It's also good for the lung function though and the immune function. It's energizing. It gives you stamina and it uplifts your mood and gives you a sense of well-being. So that's called Rhodiola rosea. And I may provide some links later if you're, or just text me if you're curious. And then the other big one is American ginseng, which was used by the Native American peoples for asthma and for chronic cough. And so that's also good on the adrenal system, on the immune system, and it's cooling and moistening. So if you've been dealing with hot, dry, smoke exposure, all that sort of stuff, American ginseng is a key herb because it takes the healing into the lungs. So I would recommend American ginseng, but I wouldn't actually recommend Chinese or Korean or any of the other kind of ginsengs right now. They're maybe too hot and too drying. Okay. And then the other herb to check out is reishi. In Latin, it's one of the Ganoderma families. Um, one of these hard, big ones you see growing on trees. They're a really cool mushroom. And it's immune strengthening, it's an antioxidant, it's anti-inflammatory, and also helps regulate your body, and you can't go wrong taking reishi. So you can't really go wrong taking those three, at least in moderate amounts. But I do want to say that herbalists and acupuncturists use herbs in a very particular way. They put together a formula. So if you have any other symptoms or underlying health concerns, I really recommend that you go talk to a professional to custom tailor a formula for your needs. There are herbs that synergize with the main herbs. There are herbs called envoys that direct the action to specific parts of the body that need the medicine. And there's also other herbs that help you assimilate, absorb, and digest the herbs. So herbs work a lot more powerful when you put them together in a knowledgeable way. All right. So I just want you to know there are resources out there. I know this is a weird time because it's even hard to get a hug, but maybe just giving an online hug to someone, even, you know, spending time connecting with people. If people is what's healing for you, very important. It's a good time to reach out. Just a few reminders of ways to do some self-healing. And then now we're gonna transition into the meat of what I have to offer today, which is going to be really working with the breath and the lungs. Okay, so you can start to settle in a nice upright seat, have a nice spine, and just breathe naturally. And maybe you can close your eyes. And we'll just start to check in and feel what's going on in your body. In your body, this is where you're doing your work, right? This is your field of control. So just every day, if you can take some time and do some of these self-care activities, even just closing your eyes and taking a breath for 1 minute, it'd be so restorative. All right, so just sending your senses down, scanning through your body, seeing where you're feeling constricted, where you're feeling great, where you're feeling tension. I like to put my hand on my chest and my other hand on my belly. And that kind of helps my alignment. And then we're going to slowly transition into a little bit more of a conscious breath meditation. So we're going to start to inhale and exhale with a full yogic breath. All right. So what that means is we're going to be inhaling through our nose today, which brings the air and filters it through the sinuses. It's said that this brings in the clearest chi. So we want to bring in clear chi or prana from the yoga tradition into our body. And then we want to exhale as much as we can right now. We probably all have a lot extra going on in our body. So the other thing you're going to want to do is breathe out through your mouth. And this is a fine time. You're probably alone like I am in your house, or hopefully with supportive people around you. And you can moan, you can groan, you can let out some noise through your exhale. So the full yogic breath starts Inhaling through the nose into the belly. And then the breath rises up into the chest. You can just pause a little bit at the top and then exhaling, letting the chest go, letting the belly go. So we're just going to do that a little bit to kind of center ourselves and prepare ourselves for some self-healing today. Noticing what's there. Inhaling into the belly. Breath rises up into the chest. And then easily just letting it go. Full yoga breath. Soon you should start to feel a beautiful wave. I'll kind of exaggerate with my hands. It's sort of like you're undulating out in the ocean. And again, the focus today is on that exhale. Feel free to let out any kind of noise you want to. Wonderful. If you're feeling too lightheaded, again, focus on that exhale. But feeling lightheaded might be good. Make sure your feet are on the ground. We're going to do 3 more breaths together, and then we'll start transitioning very peacefully and gently into Qigong. So just continue breathing. Sending your vision inside. Feeling the aliveness of your body. Taking a little down moment here. We're going to move today, but it's important to have these yin peaceful moments as well as doing stuff that's more active. Okay, now that you've kind of set that pattern in place, that new easy yogic breath, we're going to stand up and keep that breath going through the practice today, okay? So we're going to stand up and take a Qigong posture, okay? So the Qigong posture has your knees over your feet. So your knees are slightly bent. Your feet are deeply rooted and facing forward. Your pelvis is a little bit shifted. So your pelvis is shifted forward like that, kind of locking the upper body in place so that the energy is rising very clearly up and down. The goal here is for your feet to be in the earth, like deeply in the earth. You can feel roots going into the earth, and your head being in the sky. All right? So from this pose, we generally start with a little stretch, I guess you call it, called bringing down the heavens. So what you do is place your hands together at the lower belly. This is sort of the center from which we're going to be moving. And then we're going to sweep our arms up and bring them over our head. Again, keeping that nice, big, easy breath. So in yoga, we just bring the arms down. We sweep the arms up and down a lot. So let's just do that gently, exhaling as you're bringing the hands down. And that's very clearing. You don't have to do any kind of intention or visualization. But Qigong's specialty really is bringing in that element of imagination, which what it does is it activates and speaks to that subconscious part of your mind that interacts with the hard to reach parts of yourself, the subtle parts of yourself. So that's why we kind of activate our imagination. So this time we're going to imagine light. We're going to bring a disc of light coming down through us. So again, sweeping the arms up, you bend your knees and then reach up as far as you can, and then hold your hands in like a disc shape above your head. Imagine white light going from around your hands, and then we're just going to bring that disc right over us, and it's very clearing. You can breathe and exhale. If you feel any areas that are a little bit more dense, just spend a little bit more time with them. You can take as long as you want here. Just bringing down the heavens really slowly, filling your body with light. White light is good, but if there's other colors that appeal to you, that's probably what you need right now. And then sending that disc, continuing down through your legs, using your visualization to send that disc into the earth where all that energy is recycled and cleared. Okay? And then let's just do one more, and I won't talk for it, and you can just enjoy it on your own. And just feel yourself sort of melting and clearing from the energy as you're bringing down the celestial energy to sort of bless our practice today. Okay, here we go. Okay. I'll wait for you guys all to catch up with me. We just brought the heavens down. Maybe you've noticed with the breath work and with just moving very slowly that your perceptions are starting to shift. Now we're going to go into a different mode, though. We're going to start to move a little bit here. So with the philosophy of Qigong is that in order to bring in vitality and new energy, we first have to clear out the old energy, right? So that's the first thing we're going to do today. So again, we're going to sweep the hands up, bending the knees for a second, and reaching up, placing the palms together. Don't know if you can see my palms with this camera. Placing your palms together, rise up on your toes, inhaling, looking up. It's a little bit of a stretch. Just do it to your ability. And then get ready, exhale. And we're going to shake. So we bring all the energy up, and now we're just going to bring it all down and shake, okay? Shaking out the wrists, shaking out the hips. Nice big exhales. Let's clear out all that stress and tension that we've all been feeling for weeks now. You can definitely shake your ankles, shake your booty. Feel free to go crazy. It's just you here, and I have no shame, so I'm not going to judge you. And then shaking your shoulders, you can come down, forward, get those shoulders moving, and come all the way back. And the main action here is actually from your heels. You can shake the whole body just by pushing up and down on your heels. So you can also find different frequencies, like maybe you'll go like 3 times as fast. That might help. Or you might go really slow and just really intentionally shake out certain parts of yourself. Whew. And again, nice big exhales. Inhales through the nose, and then Okay. And then let's start working on the spine. Let's start twisting from the spine. Just putting your legs in that nice Qigong position, and then just spinning from your hips. So from your hips and your core, your arms go limp, and you're just moving them, squeezing your spine out, releasing all that tension. Slowly what we're going to do is put a little bit more effort into this, and the arms should start to come up. You're sort of giving yourself a massage here on your ribs and intercostals. Whew. And then bringing up the intensity a little bit more, massaging your lung points and your kidneys in the back. And then you can even throw your arms over your shoulders. Really give yourself a massage here. This is a great way to wake up in the morning. You can even kind of get up to your neck there. Okay. And then gently, gently letting that slow down. Coming back to center. And now we're just going to transition right into more self-massage and just hitting yourself with your fist just to the level that feels good to you, okay? You're not punching, you're not beating yourself up here. You're just tapping. We'll use our fists, and then we'll use some other techniques as well. But the fist is is kind of the most strongest one. And what I'm doing now is I'm going into my inguinal area right here and clearing the lymph right there, because our lymph, has a lot of waste products from the immune system. So very important to clear that. Okay, and then coming up, massaging the belly in this way. Some people hold all their stress and tension in the digestive tract. In the stomach, you might get IBS type symptoms when you're stressed out. That's a sign. Coming up to the liver and the lungs and the chest. Okay, and then slapping down the arms. Both sides. Going down the inside, back up the outside. Okay, and now let's try massaging same kind of hitting style percussive massage with the palms. See if that feels good. With the palms, it's nice to go tonify your kidneys a little bit, and then work down the glutes. Give yourself a little gentle spanking on the booty and down the outside of the body. And then when you're coming up the inside of the body, you can be a little bit more gentle, just kind of nice, gentle rubbing like that. All right, and then let's use all 10 fingers. This will give a different strategy to waking up especially we're going to be doing a lot of work here in the intercostals today, in the lungs. People hold a lot of tension in these areas, and the fingers, when you get into a smaller, you can even start to, here I'll show you, start to reach right in on both sides and just massage into that soft tissue in the intercostal areas. These are called the spirit points in Chinese medicine along the kidney channel. And there's a lot of they're used for more like psychological and emotional situations. A lot of just a lot of stuff's held in here. So work your way out. Find some spots that really light up for you here. You want it to be nice and sharp and bright, and that's your body's energy. That's your body's energy kind of like being held in the tissue. And so you're your own best massager. That's my philosophy. You can go into it just to the right level if you're bold enough, right? So I encourage you to go in and when you find a point, that really lights up for you, just go in and just be with it. That's all it really needs. That's all it really wants. So just breathing in, using that same nice big breath we've been doing. Once you find your point, inhaling in through the nose, right into that point, feeling any messages it has for you, and then exhaling it out and doing nice little clockwise circles feels good. You can do 10 points at a time here, so this can be really juicy. Good. Okay, and then I'm going to direct us to a few specific points, particular right now, lung 1 and lung 2, which are, you just go out in the first intercostal space, kind of walk your way out there until you get to the edge of the rib, almost into the shoulder area, and go down, and then you might find some points there. And you might want to use this technique. This is like crane's beak or something like that. You can dig in with all your fingers into one spot. And find lung 1 and lung 2. You can do it on both sides at a time. I like to do one side at a time. Just digging into lung 1 and lung 2 and breathing into it. this is a very good point for clearing the lungs. And we need to clear the lungs before we activate and charge up the lung and the immune system. So this is how we do it. All right, and then working your way down under the arm, which doesn't get much attention. Lots of lymph glands in there, and this point is called heart 1. So you can massage that, and I use a little grasping technique, and I'll grasp under my arm, and then I'll start to go down the arm, okay? Grasping particularly along this ridge line that heads to the thumb. All right, this is the large intestine channel and the lung channels right there. So both of these are paired organs that go up into the nose, the sinus, and the headache, and for headaches, and they're also very good for activating the immune system. So massaging there, don't forget to stop at the crook of the elbow, okay? Very important point here. Large intestine 11 for clearing heat, particularly clearing heat from the immune system. So what you're going to do is just grasp right there and move that stuff out. You can even throw it into some place safe, like your sink maybe. It's a good place to get rid of things. And you can also throw it into the earth and let it be recycled. What I'm kind of suggesting is that there's more than just physical stuff held in our tissues. There's emotions and thoughts and patterns. And this particular spot is a good one to investigate, okay? And then just using your thumb, work your way down the inside of the arm. This is the lung channel, as I said, the heart channel, the pericardium channel, all these kind of channels that have a lot of emotional resonance, and also that we're using right now when we're battling fires out there, and everything that you're kind of need to be protected from. So massaging along here, activating all these points in kind of a soothing and clearing way, going out into the wrists, go out between the webbings of the fingers, and then the most important webbing of the finger, you probably know this point, large intestine 4, you can dig in right there in between the thumb and the index finger. And this is a really good point for activating the whole immune system and the whole channel. And you can really feel that one. That's why it's such a good point to learn. There's a lot of actual different points. You can almost treat the whole body. I mean, the whole body is connected to the whole body everywhere. The microsystems like the ear are very famous for that, but you can actually treat most pain in the body through this one zone. So you can find, like if you have low back pain, you can find it, maybe it's right there. If you have shoulder pain, you find it right there. And then investigate also the space in between all these other fingers. And then what I like to do is just grasping the fingers between my second and third of the other hand and just pulling it out. And then shake it out. And that hand now, see what it feels like. Just check in, breathe. It definitely feels a little tingly and more alive for me. Okay, now we'll do the other side. Starting at lung 1, again, you kind of go into the first intercostal, explore your way out there, dig into lung 1. You can use the crane beak technique if you want, just to really dig into lung 1, and then grasping down into heart 1. These are where the lung and the heart channel emerge from the organs out into the chest. So it's where the kind of physical meets the energetic. That's one way of talking about it. Chi is when you're in the realm of possibility. It's like that quantum state before a waveform has materialized into a particle. So you can heal in that state when things are potential. Grasping out again through the crook of the elbow on this side, and then massaging yourself down the inner arms. All these sweet channels. Being sweet to yourself here. If you're doing this in a bad mood, that's okay, because you can just keep making some noise and releasing it. But it's also really nice to start to cultivate a sense of self-love when you're doing self-healing. Okay, and then spending time again with large intestine 4 on this side. Such a good point here. pulling it out. Okay. All right. We've got our arms clean. Now we can rub them and feel, oh right, I'm ready to do some self-healing here. So let's place our hands together, and we're gonna do some spinal breathing and really start to wake up the rest of the body, okay? So spinal breathing, you lean forward here, and just do this to your ability. We'll start very gentle, and then I'll demonstrate going a little bit further, but just go to what feels good. So you just lean forward, lean your neck forward, you're kind of curling the spine in, and you're exhaling. And then you make fists with your arms, and you kind of place the back of your scapula together, pull your arms back, and open yourself up. Inhale, and then exhale again. All right, so at your own pace, you're just going to flow between these two, and as you go, you can come down a little bit further. And likewise, you can open yourself up a little bit more. And just use this to like really open up your spine and kind of squeeze it and stretch it, especially when you're placing the back of the scapula, shoulder blades together here. You can really give yourself a massage in there. And then creating space as you come forwards and exhaling, releasing, opening up, coming down. Use that breath to start to move yourself. Sometimes we get stuck in certain patterns and we have to use a little bit of effort, especially like lifelong patterns, chronic things. So using that inhaling and exhaling to sort of power up our practice here, starting to move some energy, starting to squeeze and stretch into areas that maybe don't get stretched. You can even do a back bend here, and you can go all the way with your head between your knees. And you can go as fast as you want. But if it feels more therapeutic, just go nice and slowly here. Okay. Now, continuing in that same vein, we're going to do the fountain. So the fountain has a similar motion, but the opposite direction, sort of. Now we're going to place the back of the hands together. And this is the water element, okay? So this is going to start to fill ourselves up. We just moved and released the spine. Now we're going to fill it with new energy. So you bend the knees, put the back of the palms together, and then with the inhale, you're just bringing the breath up. And first, just bring up to the chest, and then bring your hands out. Exhaling. Coming back down again. Notice I'm tucking the chin in, breathing in. Bring it up to the lungs. Okay, so now continuing that motion, just like we did before, we're going to expand it to our comfort level. You can start to become a fountain. You're feeling the water coming from the center of the earth up through the central channel, drawing it in with your breath, and then out through your crown, exhaling, allowing it to release out into the world. In other words, you're sort of becoming a pure channel of endless abundance here. Inhaling up, exhaling out. This one usually feels very good, but you can get too lightheaded doing it. In that case, stop, slow down, stop, or just focus instead of on the inhaling, focus on this exhaling. You might need to move more like this. Spending twice as much time on the exhaling. Likewise, if you're feeling really deficient and low energy in your life, you might want to really work on that inhale. So that would look like this. So using that breath, we can kind of tailor the practice to what we need, okay? So just play with the fountain. You can start to shift back and forth, left and right. Opening up all the parts of your body using your breath. Good, and now we've started to sort of feel the chi moving a little bit. Let's do the next exercise. This is a yang tonification exercise, but we're going to do it nice and slow. So this is like very basic qigong here. We're just swinging our arms up, bending the knees, bring them back down. Bend the knees, swing the arms up, inhale, exhale back down. So very similar, just a sense of opening and closing. Sense of bringing new life in. And exhaling all stagnant, smoky stuff. Feel your lungs filling up. Feel your shoulders getting looser here. I'm going to introduce a few. You can just keep going like this. Close your eyes and just feel these waves. It's beautiful. I'm also going to introduce 2 different ways of doing this. Again, if you really feel like you need to let go of stuff, it's like this. It's a big drop each time. Okay? So feel free to drop the energy down and just really tell your body, hey, I can release this. That's wonderful. And then also, if you want to, you can swing your energy up more. So focusing more on that inhale, on that expansiveness, on building yourself up. Both are needed, really. And then in between, we're just kind of like harmonizing this. So just this beautiful motion. The knees are involved, the hips are involved. If you just do one exercise, this is probably the easiest one to remember and to do. All right. So now we're gonna make it a little more complicated here. We're gonna, if you want to, and you can, happy just to stay here, go for it. Now we can take one step forward, bring the arms forward. I think maybe I got too close to the screen. Let me do that again. Bring the arms forward and then part the clouds and then rock back, parting the clouds. Similar motion, but now there's a sense of us taking flight and moving obstacles out of our path. So what I'm doing is I'm just leaning back on one foot and then rocking forward on the other. And we'll switch sides in a little bit. Again, exhaling, removing all obstacles. This one, you can even bring it into sort of a warrior 3 and come off the floor. If you're super adventurous, there is this sense of flying because you're lifting your foot up off the floor, or just lift yourself up onto your toes if that's what's available to you. And this is really good, again, for this whole lung area. Okay. And then let's just go back to the center one for a second here. Check back in the center. Nice, easy breaths. In and out. And then getting ready back here, stepping forward with the other foot, coming forward, parting the clouds. Qigong is, on one level, just an opportunity for us to feel beautiful and graceful with just very simple movements. So it doesn't matter what you look like, it's just how you feel. Does this create a sense of freedom and expansiveness in you? Okay, coming back down. We'll come back to the basic move here, just to recenter ourselves. And then we're going to work with sort of the moon energy and water energy for a second. So now you take a little bit of a wider stance. You bring your hands over to one side, and then you sweep your hands across the water of a lake, All right, and then when you get to the far side, you bring the moon over the lake. And then exhaling, calming the waters of the lake. Inhaling, beautiful moonlight crossing the lake. You can imagine sort of a time lapse as the celestial objects kind of arc through the sky. You can get into this one doing nice big curves using your knees and hips here. Moonlight over the lake. When you get to one side, we can stop, go back, and bring the moon the other way. What the lake represents, of course, is it represents our mind. And so what I like to do is just imagine my hand kind of running over the ruffly waves of the lake at night, just calming it down. That nice moon energy, nice and calm and restorative. And you can do this very athletically, like all of these. These can be a little bit more physical, working on your form, getting your form down, and working on involving your shoulders and everything. Okay, and then coming back to center, the next one is called Owl Turns Its Head. So what we're doing here is stretching our thumb out on both sides outwards. And what this does is it opens up, and you should feel it go all the way up into your head, and this opens up the lung and the large intestine channel. So the owl is stretching and then kind of folds its wings in like this, and you can bring the head down, and then you stretch and the owl turns its head, and try to rotate your head 360 degrees like an owl, or as far as you can to the right, and then down, and then go to the left. And this is good for that neck tension, shoulder tension. Make sure you really make it taut here, and that will really activate the stretch. Again, exhaling in, inhaling out. Filling your chest now. This is a good opportunity to do that. Ooh. See if you can get your head to rotate at least 270 degrees, I think, right? Okay, good. And then continue on that same, let's do the counter swing. So the counter swing also, which is also known as like, I forget, it's some kind of bird one. So we're gonna bring the arms up, and then we're gonna exhale, let them go, and one hand sweeps in front of the other and the other goes behind you. And then you bring up and you do the other hand, okay? So it looks like this, inhaling, exhaling. Again, just like the other exercises, if you're focusing on exhaling today, you can really let the energy go there. If you're focusing on charging yourself up, really give yourself a sense of loft and an expansion here. Inhaling, exhaling, inhaling, exhaling. So do this one at your own speed. You can actually do it quite fast, or spend more time and do it a little bit more meditatively. So I think it's just commonly known as counter swing, and really good to just move all the channels of the body. Okay, and then slowing it down. Now we're going to come into the lung tonification. Now we're ready to tonify our lungs. So here's what that looks like. You bring the lung and the large intestine channel, which end on these fingers, together in this mudra, which you might have seen before. And you exhale, bring your hands together, and then you inhale and open up the chest. Exhale, kind of sealing the channels, the lung and the large intestine, and then inhaling, charging them up with new energy. So this one is purely about filling your lungs with bright new energy. You can Visualize white energy is really good for the lungs. Feel white energy coming in through your nose, filling the lungs. And if you want to, you can visualize like darker or, cloudy, smoky energy leaving as you exhale. So I'm not seeing any questions, but if you have any questions, you can type them, and I'll see. Oh, cool. Chamomile having an emotional reaction. That's wonderful. Okay. So let's just do that a few more times. Where were we? Okay. And then we're coming to the end of our Qigong, kind of bringing it down. Now that we've sort of cultivated really wonderful energy, what I'd like to do is offer a prayer through Qigong out to those people who are like suffering, those people who lost their homes. Anyone you feel in your heart needs a blessing, you can offer it during this movement. So this is one of my favorites. I'll move back so that you can see it. It's a little bit elaborate. It's not too elaborate though. We reach up and we form a diamond mudra above our heads. And then we bring that diamond down in front of our third eye, down through all the chakras, down to the heart level. And then just take a little moment here. And who do you feel, including yourself, really needs some love and compassion right now? Breathing into that, maybe put together a little message to someone. Okay, and then sending it outwards, push it outwards. Send that love out. And then as soon as you get about this far, you let it go. There's nothing more you can do. And you let your hands fall down. And then they come back up. You intertwine the fingers. And what happens miraculously is that prayer or blessing you send out comes back as a lotus flower, something very unexpected. And then you can smell your lotus flower. You never know what you're going to get, right? And then that too falls away, passes away, and then we'll do it again. So we'll do this 2 more times. You can do it at your own rate, making that diamond mudra, bringing it down to your heart, feeling your heart activate, love activate. All that bright, clean chi in our lungs and heart, we now send outwards to the world, to those who need it. Let it fall away, unattachment. Comes back as a lotus flower. That too falls away. Okay, and then we'll do one more silently. Exhaling. Inhaling. Exhaling. Okay. So now just to integrate, I like to put my hands on my heart and my low belly right below the belly button, and I put my feet together, which you might not be able to see. And then this is called bamboo pose. And what you do here is you just sway. You can close your eyes. And it's good for the balance, but more importantly is it's kind of integrating in all the movement and practice we did into the central nervous system. Just letting yourself sway. Okay, so that ends our movement section. It looks like we have a few more minutes though, so I'm going to offer a lot of other fun things to do here. You can get a glass of water or anything and then join me seated, and we will do a little self-massage. So just continuing with that gentle energy we've cultivated, we're going to rub our hands together. And then let's just give ourselves a little facial massage. So starting at the cheekbones, you can just kind of move your hands back and go along through the temples, and then grasp back at the occiput and just kind of clear the energy back from the tight muscles with the neck. meets the head. And then we'll do that again. And this time we can do 10 dragons running through the forest. You can run through your hair, just clearing, running through your forehead and your hair, clearing everything out from your brain, and again, pulling out from the back. So this will probably mess up your hair, but that's okay. And then just finding good points in your head to massage. Obviously, the temples is a classic one. Nice circles in the temple. We say that counterclockwise draws energy out. So if you have a headache, probably you want to move in a counterclockwise way. It's kind of like a universal message of drawing something out. Clockwise is more if you're feeling weak and need tonification is what we call it. All right. So just moving counterclockwise, giving yourself some nice massage. You can do both your temples and the back of your head, and find with you have 10 points here that you can do at one time. Find some good ones there, and then just continuing that nice breath into any areas that feel sore. Yeah, and the jaw, going into the jaw. If you hold your tension in your jaw, if you're chomping at night from the stress, this is a good place to massage right in here, right below the ear. You'll find some really good points there. Ooh, I'm actually feeling that one. Okay, and then the ear itself. Let's see if we can do this on video. Sweeping up through the ear, you can massage the entire ear, which connects to the whole body. This is basically the same tissue that the fetus was in the womb. It's completely connected. It's the last remaining part of, I forget the scientific name of this type of tissue, but there's also all the nerve endings in there, including, most importantly, the vagus nerve. So the vagus nerve is modulating that relationship between the sympathetic and the parasympathetic nervous system. So this allows us to drop deeper into a relaxation state, and you can pull on your ears. If you're feeling like you got a lot of heat, you can pull on the tops of the ears. And then again, doing the neck here. So what I like to do for the neck is I will turn my head to my left, doesn't matter which direction, and then you reach over with the hand on that side, and if you tighten it by turning it, you'll see like the SCM and the trapezius will be very prominent and very easy to massage, and you can run your fingers along them all the way down to where they insert into the clavicle, and you'll find some good points. I guarantee you. A lot of people hold a lot of tension in here, so working your way along there until you find the good ones. And in the shoulders, right there. And then you can do the other side. And I just want to mention, if this is a good time to do massage with massage toys if you have them. So it might be fun to get something like this. I have one of these I offer to my patients. It feels very good to just give yourself a massage right in this area. Ooh, yeah, and just to be in that vibration, allow it to shake out the tension that's held in the muscle fibers. So you can also get other kinds of rolly balls and back scratchers and all that stuff. I just want to remind you and encourage you. And these Theragun knockoffs are not too expensive, to be honest. Okay, and then we've done a lot in the intercostals today. But just to close, it'd be nice to do the heart point, Ren 17, right here, and then the third eye point, Yin Tong. So holding these 2 points, we can kind of close our massage, and then we'll do a closing meditation together. So feel if these points do anything for you. Breathing into them again. This should be very centering. And then we'll just close with, I want to encourage you to experiment with a kind of meditation breath called Ujjayi breath. So you can continue to hold your hand at your heart if you found a good point there, or on your third eye or the top of the head. And Ujjayi breath is a constriction at the back of the throat. And actually the constriction can be in the diaphragm as well. It's also known as ocean roar breath. So you're still breathing in through the nose, And I don't know how good the audio is going to come out over this online class, but the exhale sounds like this. So we're going to do 10 breaths together. I'm going to put on a little bit of music, and I want you to really just see if you get into this practice by by moaning or groaning or getting into that real stale air at the bottom of the lungs on the exhale. Just like really focus on that exhale. You can go all the way, and then sometimes you can go beyond what you think. You can clear out an amazing amount of old stuff that's held in your lungs, and you can encourage that love and compassion by holding your heart while you do that. So I'm going to put on a little bit of music just to encourage the space. And let's just close together. We'll do this meditation together, and then if you have any messages or whatnot, we can leave them in the little comment section below. And by the way, I'm happy to, if you want to message me or contact me in any way, I'm absolutely available. I'm an acupuncturist. I do hands-on work, and I love teaching all this stuff. So anyway, carry on. So here we go. We're going to breathing in through the nose, and then Ujjayi breath. Do a few more big breaths. Let out anything else that you've been wanting to let out. Wonderful. All right. All right, just keeping your eyes closed. Come back to your center. Allow your breath to return to normal. Check back in and see if it's any different than when we checked in at the beginning of the class. Think about which of these exercises we did today really appealed to you, which one really seemed to move some energy or feel particularly good. And think about when in your day you could take just a few minutes and take a few breaths or do a few of these little basic movements, and see how you can integrate that in. Self-healing is a long journey. It's a never-ending journey, really, and it's so fun. So I'm happy to share it with you. I hope your healing journey takes you to amazing and ever better places. Um, share the love. If you're in a space of strength, you have more love and compassion to share to everyone who needs it right now. So take that out into the world, and namaste. That ends our class for today. All right. Peace.